It's been a very interesting week in the motorsports category. On a sad note, unfortunately, but we wanted to make a show tonight. I needed to make a show because Daniel and myself are actually leaving the country come this Friday. We're going on a quick little tour of final cars. Now, these aren't the cars that already shipped. This is just the next shipment of cars. I want to make that clear. But we will be gone for Danny will be gone for about 12 days. I'll be gone for almost 20 days. And by the time I get back, obviously cars will be in the country. They have been in the country for a couple of weeks probably by the time I get back, because they're scheduled to arrive on LA port on January 11th. So some people were making some jokes about the container that lost, or the container ship that lost some containers. Fingers crossed that's not ours. I haven't heard anything different. But someone said, hey, I got an update. And I'm like, they got an update more than I do. But obviously, we hope that's not the case. That's why we did not post this up here and make fun of it, because we need some good luck on our side instead of some bad luck. Presentation, we'll talk about some remembering of motorsports enthusiasts and what they've done for the sport, as well as events, special announcements, deliveries, and questions. Where'd you get the questions from? Social media? No, old one, right? All right, cool. Ken Block, tragic accident this week. I was not very close with Ken. I don't know why. Paths never really crossed. He's done the Baja. They did rally cross when we were at X Games with Stadium Super Truck, but as an entertainer, marketeer, motorsports icon, this guy has raised the bar for all of us. And it's very sad to hear what happened. I was actually in Park City with Todd Romano, who's really good friends with Ken, on New Year's Eve, and left the very next day. And I believe it happened the day after, which nobody wants to hear this kind of stuff happening, but there's only one positive way to look at it. He was still chasing speed, very down to the last minute. And, us guys in motorsports, we push it on every angle all the time, full maximum pursuit, as you see, tires hanging off the cliffs. And his driving style and car control was top level. This guy was an amazing drifter, amazing racer, killer marketeer, and obviously somebody that I looked up to, and the rest of the world will obviously he raised the level for all of us and taught us what motorsport social media is all about, with his Gymkhana shows and Pikes Peak runs and drifts around some of the coolest cities in the world. I'm a fan, and this one here hits home a little bit. Like I said, he's in the industry, raced the Baja. Heard he was going to race again the Baja in 2023, which would have been cool to have him down there. I saw Ampudia mentioned that he was going to race with him, so that's a bummer. But sad to see this one. Next one, good friend. Now this is what I would consider a good friend. Robby Pierce and myself have worked together since he purchased the Impact brand from Bill Simpson. I worked with Robby hand in hand on the intercom headsets that are in the helmets. That was something that I brought to Impact, and Robby said, "Yeah, let's do it." And it's I was just tired of wearing earplugs for that many hours at Baja and in the NASCAR cars at that time. And I got some helmets that I made a make-do system back before Simpson. And when I was with Simpson, and then we built them into the Impact helmets, and that's obviously a helmet that is widely used in all of motorsports now. Even the IndyCar guys are using the forced induction ear cup helmets because it cuts down on the noise, much more comfortable to wear. Robby Pierce was a pioneer. Another guy that we lost just last week as well, or I guess early this week, and I guess something happened when he was scuba diving, is what I've been told. And I don't know what happened because obviously I wasn't there, so it would be hearsay. But again, he was a passion for a thrill seeker, motorsports, fabrication. He bought Gemco, raced stadium super trucks with us, and was a partner of ours for a long time. So really sorry to see this with Robby. And he was an innovator, one that I looked up to, and just a good person. As you heard people from the industry talk about him, he will be deeply missed in the sport. Dakar is going on. Question is, do I miss Dakar? Of course. I really miss the South America Dakars. It was incredible time in my life. Every year for the last 2 years while we've been developing Speed UTV, we've watched the Dakar. Haven't watched it that much this year. We're very busy on our final stuff that we have to do just business-wise for Speed UTV, and really haven't been able to tune in much besides what I can flick through and see either on Instagram or following Kellen Walsh. My navigator is over there with Guthrie. We've done multiple Dakars together, and it's good to see him leading the UTV class. And I believe they took the lead today with their second special win. So congrats to him. Obviously, Kyle's over there as well, working on that team. So I got some of my guys at Dakar. So we're not there, but we still get some information coming back after Dakars of what's going on and what the technology has changed and who's doing what, stuff like that. And it's always good to follow along. But our focus has been build production cars on the market. Factory visit. I said that Daniel and myself are heading back to the Bat Cave. This was the Bat Cave last time, and we had a fleet of us over there with Alan and Ken and Jason, and obviously Daniel and myself. We spent 3 months over there this summer, and we've got a couple things that we want to go back and just check over. Plus, they've got a next generation car that they built up that I showed in the post today, and we'll discuss that car a little bit and how this works and why we did what we did when we were building the Speed UTV brand and why we built a 4-seater first. Not only because it's our best seller, it plays in hand with every car after that. Obviously, you can see us over there when we were at the test track and bags were packed. We leave on Friday night at 11 o'clock, and I got to be honest, I have not packed my bags yet, but we've got piles of parts scattered around the shop. This is a box and some timing wheels, a little speed timing wheel, and lights, and just got a bunch of things that we'll start taking over there that we'll take there and hopefully bring a whole bunch more stuff back. Special announcement. You guys saw my post earlier. People have seen the Bandit that we've had pretty much most of 2022. Is it 7-8 months old?
Since
March. Since March of 22, we've been testing and playing with the Bandit. We've been running it on E85. It's kind of been our car for hard endurance runs. And we've got now, there you go, production. Let's call this pre-production Bandit. I want to make sure that we're clear. This is a pre-production Bandit. And I want to show you how we got to the Bandit and what the design process was at the very beginning when we started Speed UTV, so that we could make our lives easier with regards to parts, pieces, dealer support, customer support, and everything else. So we've got multiple things that work on all 3 cars, but on the Bandit is the closest car to the El Jefe. And I'd like to dance through a few pictures here. It uses the front roll cage of the El Jefe. It uses the back roll cage of the El Jefe. The rear quarters, the doors, the front. It uses the same suspension, front and rear. It uses the same dash, uses the same firewall, uses the same fuel tank. It uses so many things that are exactly the same, so all the parts will actually interchange. So if you're at Glamis and you see a guy with an El Jefe, his parts most likely will work on your Bandit, as well as most likely work on your Diablo. All 3 cars share the same wiring harness, and basically we just make up the 24 inches by going around the shifter and back. This allows us to make one wiring harness that goes in all 3 cars. Again, if you bought a car and you go to Coin Power Sports, for example, and you've done something to, let's say, short out your wiring harness. If the chance of them having a Bandit wiring harness and a Diablo wiring harness and an El Jefe wiring harness would be very slim, but because all three harnesses are the same, it'll make it a lot easier. Daniel, are they beating up on me again?
Everybody's saying carb, carb, carb.
Carb, 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 yes. It does not have a carburetor, but I have heard from Carb, and I did get Carb call in between Christmas and New Year's, and I was told I'd have the certificate tonight, but I still don't have the certificate tonight. So maybe the next time we do a show, we will actually be able to show you the certificate. But we are going to proceed based on the information that I have received. I want to say that was about January 28th. I received a call saying that December 28th. Thank you for the correction there. That we are all the way through the process and just needs his boss's signature on it. So we have some inside info that we will see this thing here in the next few days. I was hoping to have it for tonight. Don't have it tonight yet. I'd like to show a quick video and kind of scroll through this video. And if we can speed it up, Daniel, a little bit. Go ahead and keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, back up a little bit. Let's start right there. Let's start right here and let me stop for just 1 second. Can you back it up one second there? So this was many months ago, probably a year and a half ago, to be honest, maybe even 2 years ago. But this is some of the stuff that we've been working on that we did not share everything with you guys. And until we were to the point we could take a Bandit and share it, and as you will see, there's some fabrication work that got done here. This was fixed prior to all the El Jefes. This was an early pre-production car. And this got modified and changed before we went to full production on the El Jefes. So you'll see what happens here, and I'll kind of walk through it, or we could probably play it. Okay, I'll just talk it. So we pulled the rear door off, and this car is now in a position, and the frame was designed in CAD that when you remove 24 inches of the center section of this car, you remove it here in the middle. And can you zoom that in, or is that possible? As this is happening, Shrek is up there removing the middle section of the cage. But if you look here, there's a suspension tie-in point that goes to the inner pivot point. This one comes in here, and these two intersect. Go ahead and zoom back out. But the car doesn't get moved in the back. It gets moved actually in the front seats. The back seats become the front seats of the Bandit is what happens. So we will get rid of this piece here, and this is the only part that we don't use. Unfortunately, I am teaching our competitors some manufacturing lessons here because we will use as many parts as possible and basically make a El Jefe a Bandit. It's a little bit hard to make a Bandit a Diablo because there's a couple plastic changes that change in the middle of it. But as you see here, when Jeff did the body work originally, it was all lined up where basically the door, as you see the step down, it now goes away, flows right in on the Bandit. One thing when we were trying to work the designs, and I know some people might say, well, why didn't you just go the body work all the way? Well, the back door being a little bit lower is not all bad thing because we got kids that normally ride in the back seat. So losing that 3 inches of height allows them to look left and see out the door instead of having the door up above where they can't see where they're going. And as you see, the door lines come in here. This was one that was missed early. And this is why we take pre-production cars, cut them apart, put them together, because we learn that, hey, something happened. You know, maybe it was the tooling guy at the rear fender. Was it the tooling guy at the front? Which guy made the mistake and took his own opinion in, because it happens a lot, went in and said, oh, I can make this tool. I can save $500 on this hunk of metal and I can lose an inch here. Well, he wasn't thinking about the next door behind that. And so that's just an example I'm giving. It's not that happened. I don't really even know where it happened, but there was a space that was missed here in our design process. And when we went to pre-production, it got missed, but it has been adjusted and fixed. And this seam line will be there. But what's cool is you see that little, that's the gap that we lost there. And the nice part is the front cage, the rear cage are the same on all vehicles. So can you make a nicer roll cage if somebody wants to go aftermarket and make a nicer roll cage? Hey, there's plenty of guys out there that are in the aftermarket accessory business. Have at it, guys. But what we did as a factory is we built the safest production roll cage in the industry. We are the first production car with this A-post support. That keeps this A-post supported. The rear has a triangle over here. These are the same parts on the El Jefe that go onto the Bandit. The front section of the El Jefe will actually be the front section on the Diablo as well. And as you see, boom, it took a couple minutes and you could pop a car together. So this car was designed with the intention as being multiple platform cars right from the beginning with the least amount of parts interchangeable so that we could, one, do the job easier, two, supply the parts better, have better dealer support, and at the end of the day, have better customer satisfaction. Because that was our goal from the get-go, is build the best car that we know how to build. I'm sure there's people out there that said, why'd you do it like this? Or why'd you do it like that? We did have a reason. Not that my reason is always right, but in my mind, I think my reason's right. And at the end of the day, it does say Speed on it, and we can build what we want to build. But this was a cool little feature that we built in that I really haven't shared with you guys in a long time. We really haven't done a show in a long time because I honestly didn't have much to share with you guys. I opened up my toolbox. I showed you everything we were doing for the last 105 episodes, showed you how we do it, why we think it's better than what's out there. And as you see, here's another example how we used our experience from other forms of motorsports to make the car easier to build, easier to support, with better dealer support, better customer satisfaction, and hopefully a more reliable car because we continue to use more parts that are the same. Also, reduction of cost. Go ahead, what's the...
Can they make their Happy a Bandit and back?
I'm sure you could. If you wanted to take some tube clamps and you wanted to tube clamp it right here, and you wanted to tube clamp it in the other sections, you probably could. It would be really cool if you could do that. And that's actually pretty funny that somebody says that. But the truth is, an El Jefe becomes a Bandit a lot easier than a Bandit becomes an El Jefe. So that's why we did the four-seater first, because we start with the parts being big. And we did work through the drive shafts. I don't remember where we're at, but we were trying to use the back drive shaft the same, or is it the front drive shaft the same on all three cars? Which one is it?
I think it's the front one.
The front drive shaft is the same on all three cars. Unfortunately, I still have to have a small jumper even on the Bandit just to be able to control the drive shaft flex and twist, or at least what I thought we needed to do when we were doing it, or Daniel thought we needed to do when we were designing this car, to try to get the least amount of vibration with the strongest components. It has a couple carrier bearings through the middle. It does not have, do we have any U-joints down the drive shaft? No U-joints down the drive shaft?
Crown spline.
Yep, all crown spline. No U-joints.
Can you describe what those are and how you use them in NASCAR?
Yeah, so yeah, that crown spline is actually a good idea. Is there one over here?
We got regular splines here and axle bars over here.
Yeah, so a crown spline was used on our Cup cars. And we used them in the rear axle. People have probably seen crown splines before. Daniel's, I think, so you go get one. But it allows to have some misalignment, but not have to have a U-joint. And on the Cup cars, we would do it for either toe or camber on a solid axle rear end. And has that one got a crown one?
So, you want to be?
Yep, perfect. So as you see here on this, you gave me a greasy one, Daniel. Can someone grab me a rag, please? Over here, and I'll try to move closer to the thing. You can see the straight spline. And on this side, you can see it has a crown spline here. What that allows it to do is have some misalignment, which by having misalignment, if there is any flex or anything, it can kind of line itself and not have a vibration. Having a crown spline with a plunging spline allows the chassis to flex a little bit without binding up the U-joints. It's honestly a better way to do it. We get some axle plunge basically down the center of the car. Thank you. I'm good. Appreciate it. So crown splines down the center, carrier bearings, multiple carrier bearings throughout the chassis, and same roll cage in the rear, makes the roll cage in the front. And can you back up a picture? Let's go back to the Bandit. There we go. Go to the next one. Maybe. Nope. There we go. There's a Bandit. And as you see, the Bandit looks pretty macho. You guys have probably seen us testing the lower car. That's because we're on pavement here at the test track at Charlotte. It's the easiest way for us to go out the back door and go put some miles on the cars. But this is a pretty macho looking little car. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fast short course car. It's going to be a sporty dune car. And I believe that it probably in our rock crawling and some of the others is probably the best package for certain aspects. And I think at Speed UTV, we've got a nimble car, we've got a stable high-speed desert car, and we got a family cruiser with the El Jefe. So pretty cool to have all three cars used on the same platforms. Let's go with a couple others. All right, there's the, as Daniel said, the Alpha prototype, which was over here. You see it here on 15-inch NASCAR slicks. It was incredible on our test track. It was, I think it was 3 seconds a lap faster than my SST track cars on the test track. It was a big number faster. Remember, this is on slicks. And we did both of them, one not taking the jumps because that's a lowered car, but it was literally 3 seconds. And you guys have seen how fast the SST cars are. This car is a rocket ship. It is going to be a lot of fun. Over on the right, obviously, is our pre-production car, as you saw with the Speed UTVs. Over on the left, this is that same car basically sitting up at off-road ride height and lowered ride height. And you heard it here, we will build a rally package, something like this for you guys that want to go rallying. Probably won't see it in 2023, but you'll see it in 2024. I think it's a package that we need to be involved in. And it'll come as a lowered car with slicks on it. You can take it to go-kart tracks. You can take it road racing. I believe it'll give a Legends car a run for its money, especially in four-wheel drive. And it comes with a full roll cage, 5-point harnesses, tilt wheel, proper steering, two seats. Great driver's ed car for go-kart tracks, where a lot of go-kart tracks have a single seater. You can't take a passenger with you. So I've got a vision for this that's different than just the off-road market. And if you see it, looks pretty cool down there. So a lot of fun. There it is there. Are you on the dyno?
Yeah.
Will it make a pull?
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is on E85. We got any volume? That video of the highway or no?
I didn't put that in.
You didn't put it in, okay.
You get in trouble.
All right, Daniel's afraid. That car on 485, 109 miles an hour. So, and there's a lot left. It'll go way faster than 109. All right, what else we got? Oh, customer cars. People have been asking, when are we going to hear who's customer, what customer's getting the car, when are they getting it, when can this become real? I can finally feel fairly confident, as long as that boat did not lose my containers. Like I said, they're supposed to roll in on the 11th. We are going to do a mid-February dealer customer event out of our Lake Havasu facility. Mid-February, and these customers will take their cars. John Spencer, Nick Olson, Rick Brown, Lyle Ryder, Cody Swanty. 18 will be our final production test car. As soon as it gets into our hands, that car will be going to a few dyno shops. It's going to run back to CARB testing one more time, EPA testing one more time, just to make sure every spec is spot on. And then we have Cheryl Hauser, Aaron Kewen, Bryce Montalone, David Sanchez, and Charles Barlett. You guys are getting your cars. So you're looking at some numbers. You said, okay, the numbers jump. Why did the numbers jump, and what was our thinking? When we were at the factory last time, I made the decision to do 6 RG cars and 6 LE cars. So those would be orange suspension cars and LE cars. Other reasons number jumps, those are either Bandits or Diablos. So, or California, sorry, thank you very much. California, we didn't know when we would get our carbs, so we had to make a decision. We had to go forward. We couldn't slow the process down, and these customers are getting their cars. Immediately, in the next couple days, another shipment of 24 cars are on their way. We will update you guys on who's getting their cars next. A couple days after that, 41 cars are coming. And after that, 500 cars are going to hit the port. So pretty excited. We got a lot of good things happening. We're not far away now. And like I said, customers will be in their cars in February. So I want to thank everybody for being patient with us. Some have lost patience. Some guys just want to give me a hard time. This has not been an easy process, but we are seeing the daylight at the end of the tunnel. What is this here? What do we got?
Yeah, that's going to be people's garages.
This is going to be people's garages. Obviously 330, that was 2 cars in Mexico during our NORA event. This over here, I don't know whose garage that is, but it looks pretty cool with a checkered floor. Airbnb and Havasu, huh? Perfect. And that's it. That's going to be a wrap for tonight's show. It's been a while. Heck, this is the longest show we've done in a long time. But there was a lot to share, and I will give you updates on Diablos and Bandits in the very near future, but 4-seaters are on their way. Have a good night.